Well, hello there. Welcome to Cheap Thrills. I'm your host, Earl Wayne Crabtree. This thing's freaking me out. And today on our channel, we go back in time to meet the future. We spring forward to unlock the past. We dip our toes in the mind butter of expired film and uncover colossal beauty 30 years in the making. We venture down the boulevard of crispy... Never mind. The year is 1994, and it was a very blurry 3 decades ago. Looking back now, it almost seems like an entirely different lifetime ago. That's because I was 2. Being 2 years old did not stop me from seeing Interview with the Vampire opening night, though. You're here. I snuck in some Gerber's baby food and a couple of fireball shooters, and I got drunk with a bunch of diaper-wearing mofos. You know what I'm talking about? Watching Brad Pitt, Tom Cruise bite the fuck out of people. Hung around that shifty theater a lot when I was 2 years old. Saw movies like Lion King, The Crow, 8 Seconds, and regrettably, The Pagemaster. 1994 was also the iconic release of Green Day's Dookie album. Korn's self-titled debut album, both of which I purchased at the rightful age of 2, along with this roll of film. These rolls of film, there's actually 2 rolls of film today. I know this is a one roll series, but there's 2. There's 2. The roll that I'm talking about that we shot on, or the rolls, are Kodak Gold 1600, dated 1994. Hella expired. Let's see the rolls really fast. Go! Let's break down these 2 rolls of 30-year-old Kodak Gold 1600 shot at 400 ISO in New York City back in January of 2023. Damn. I'm just now getting this video out. And before we break down that roll, can I just say, we're really close to 300 subscribers. I mean, real close. Thank you. Bless you. God bless you. Which means when we get to 300, we're going to be doing our first giveaway on the channel. Yes! More on that when we actually hit 300, though. Back to the old film. The expired shit. Let's go through these 2 rolls, one by one. Quick synopsis of each photo. We'll pick out our favorites. We'll talk through the rolls. This is a 1-roll series. Let's go. First off, I'm sorry. First off, look at this photo. It's a little bit crooked, but you're gonna get this dark brown and blue tint throughout the whole roll. There's a very blue tint throughout this whole roll. I love the sky reflecting in some of these windows. I love the splotchy shadow work on these buildings. Not the best photo, but a pretty cool photo for 30 fucking years old. Same thing here, up and down. It's off kiltered. Yeah, you can kind of see the age in this one more. Plus that stoplight or that street light coming in randomly in the top left corner is just weird. This one's a little bit better. It doesn't have as nice shadow and light play on the buildings. The composition is a little bit more straight, and I like some of the tree work here, but yeah, we're not going to get masterful color and light depth in this roll. Hope you're not expecting that. But for 30 years old, wow. This is a cool photo of an Asian man working in his little mama and papa shop doing some threading. And although it's not very clear and it's way too blue, I like this shot. I'm not sure there's much you could do in post, but I still like this shot. I like when I get random photos of people doing things and they don't see me at all. Here's another shot of the guy, a little bit more of his face, but then again, 30 years of expired film makes it tough to get a really clear image in this particular situation, but I still like this photo too. This photo's nice. The shadow play on, the highlight play on the building is pretty cool. Again, you get that blue, bright blue vividness from the sky in this picture. Maybe just a little bit of a tight angle, a little bit funky with the tree, but I still like this. Pretty sharp too. Same thing, but a little bit more street level. I don't know, the sign's a little bit distracting. That little shelter's a little bit distracting. I like the tree work coming in on the left and right side of this a little bit better, but it's not my favorite. Here's a nice street shot For a 30-year-old roll of film, the highlights when they're peeking through in the shadowy regions of this roll are pretty nice to look at. You can see that bicycle, behind that, underneath that shelter, real bright because the sunlight's beaming it. But the person just lives in the shadow realm here. And the highlights on the building behind are a little bit ugly. The composition's not great, but I could probably see why I wanted to take this if the roll could handle it. But again, we're dealing with 30-year-old roll of film, so the overall aesthetic is still cool. This photo I like. It's very flat. I love the light in the archway, sort of giving the only warmth to the image for the rest of a very blue, desaturated, I don't know, this is cool. This makes you think of rich New York, and I like it. Here's a shadowy image. Sunset was happening at this point. The film just completely fell apart here. And this is even worse. You could just see the film's like screaming for help in this image. Same thing here. You're seeing the scan really fail. The film's failed, the scanning has failed, the composition's failed, I failed. Same thing here. Again, this one's a little bit like a little better, as it could potentially work. It could potentially work for a graphic art piece, but still, I don't know why I took so many images here. I've got to be honest with you. Maybe I was just hoping for some cool composition, but just didn't get it. I'm gonna just skip this because it's fucking bad. This was a cool statue in Central Park that I tried to get a photo of. Like I said, it was getting pretty dark out. We shot this 1600 roll at 400 ISO, and you can just see the film is falling apart. This was the castle inside Central Park, and the photo was so bad, I just made it black and white and tried to get some kind of Castlevania, Transylvania kind of thing out of it. I'm not really sure I got it, but again, it's so grainy and so bad that it's potentially usable for something graphic art-wise. But that's the cool thing about old expired film. If you can get even a bad photo, sometimes you can kind of just do some stuff to it in post and still use it for something else, which is neat. I love shooting old expired film. You never know what you're gonna get. Here's it with color. Yeah, the flag looks cool, the spires look cool, but I don't know what the fuck you'd use this for. This is the one that came out the most when I exposed it, like way overexposed it just in case. The other two didn't work, which they clearly didn't. So you get a little bit more detail here, but again, it's just not enough. Not enough to be usable. What a weird looking castle, bro. Another image of it. This one's got a little bit more warmth. I think I added that in post just to try and see if I could save it. It kind of added a purple hue to the building. I didn't actually get to go up to this castle. I wish I had, but next time. And that kind of looks like the one that we talked about earlier, so I'm just gonna skip that. Here's one of the Central Park tunnels. Again, it was, sun was going down here, and this probably could have been a cool photo on black and white push 1600 that wasn't expired. But then again, if I still just really enjoy a bad expired photo. I don't know why. The people are always just living in the shadow realm, and the images just have these really bizarre quality to them. You could see these floating around on like some weird obscure Instagram accounts with creepy music. This is outside Central Park, walking back to the Flatiron District. I think that's what these next group of shots are going to be. It was pretty much dark out at this point, so these photos are going to be very dark from this point on the rest of this roll, and very blue. There's something about this picture I like. It's probably just the beautiful architecture of the buildings, and the warmth from the car lights and the stoplights add like an interesting quality to it. The light reflecting in that building is neat. The harsh blue light from the street on those buildings is cool. The tree kind of like grasping the top of the image is interesting. Obviously it's falling apart chemically, but it looks cool to me. Another photo of it with some people walking by, a little bit more exposure in the image, as you can see. I love this one too. And then this one, I just got a little bit more low angle with the street lights. I don't think it's the best composition, but it's one of those compositions that's weird that I still like it. Plus you get those weird reflections in the windows, and there's some warm light on the left side of the frame in the top floor. Warm light coming out of those windows, which is cool. Adds a little bit of depth. I still think this is a cool photo. So that was roll number 1, but I had 2 of these rolls, both from 1994, Kodak Gold 1600s that we shot both at 400 in New York City. This was a completely different day, different lighting scenario. Let's check this one out. This is on the subway. I believe we were going to Katz Delicatessen to try some delicious food. This photo just kind of sucks. I think I took it because she got a big old rose in her hand, but the pole one right in front of this guy's face is dumb. I really don't like taking pictures of people on their phones. I hate it. This was a really interesting building, sort of walking around the Tompkins Square Park area of New York City. This building is just so fucking cool looking. I can't exactly remember what building it was, but this angle of it is sick. And for 30-year-old film, I mean, it held up pretty good here. And we're getting a little bit of different colors shifted in this image as well. I'm not sure why, but this was a pretty pleasing image of this building. It was a challenging composition, to say the very least, with all the angles and things going on here, but I love this. This is just a little bit darker, a little bit more desaturated of an image. I think I did this in post just to kind of see if I liked it a little bit better, a little bit darker, a little bit more Gotham City, not Gothic City. Here's a vertical portrait version, of the same image. I like this too. The sky's doing something weird here. It adds to this weird architecture in a really, really cool, pleasing way, if I can say so. I really dig this as well. One of my favorite photos of both of the rolls. This one's very desaturated. This one's so dark and gloomy. I love everything about this photo. I think it's one of those images that's flat. The 30-year-old roll held up really well here. There's no people in this, just a little bit of sky. The colors of the buildings are so unbelievably gloomy. I absolutely just love this photo. I don't know what the fuck I'll do with it, but I love it so much. One way. It's really cool. It's moody as fuck. This was down towards the World Trade Center. This photo obviously just did not work out for some reason. I'm not really sure why. Maybe it was really bright here and the shadows just got completely askewed. You can see the scan is really falling apart here. The flag's got a cool angle, but yeah, film really fell apart here. I don't love this. This was just a grungy photo, and I honestly fucking really dig this a lot. It's super dark, gritty. You can see the grain so well. That dark shade of green and that little bit of pink blue that comes through on the white outlines of the graffiti is reminiscent of the rest of the roll in a pretty cool way. Again, this could be used for some cool graphic artwork, some poster, anything like that. I love this. Texture-wise, I love doing textured photos, and this just screams certain areas of New York to me. Same thing, a little bit brighter. Moving on. Yeah, this is what I really expected from both of these rolls. I expected this to be what most of the rolls looked like, if I'm being honest. This is just ugly as fuck. This doesn't even look like a photo. This is just bad. Here's a picture of a cool big ass Woody. The film fell apart here pretty bad again, and you can't even tell it's a Woody, but it is. It's an old Mercedes Woody, I think, if I remember correctly. I'm impressed how people can park in New York. That's actually the most impressive thing about this photo. The composition's not good, the film didn't hold up. The Woody's cool and the parking's good, but that's about it. Same thing, darker, moving on. What can I say about Ray's Candy Store? Ray's Candy Store. We had some deep fried Oreos from this guy. He's a fucking legend in the Tompkins Square Park, Lower East Side. He's a fucking legend. I'm glad I got a great photo of his shop. The front of his store is a chaotic, colorful, awesome looking thing. We got this really dope, desaturated, moody picture of it. Look at all the rust stains like falling through on this. I just love this. The twinkle lights. R.I.P. to Ray. Your Oreos are delicious and they're so cheap. We're coming back. Next time I'm in New York, I'm coming back. Got another shot of him, a little bit more of a portrait version. Just wanted to get his a little bit more of the things on the front of his store. I don't love this angle, if I'm being honest. I was probably challenged with how small the street was here to get a good portrait angle. This one is still so fucking sick. This was on the street on the Lower East Side. Obviously, it totally fell apart, but it's kind of funny. I really like the creativeness here. Same thing, a little bit brighter. There's more warmth in this shot, but it's still just not good. A little bit more clarity, but it's just not pleasing. Here's a shot of a pigeon walking up and down the street. It was a bright ass white pigeon with black dots. I kind of thought it was cool. I like this image. It's not impressive. It didn't even hold up, but I still like it. I like the crack in front of the pigeon on the street. I like the red atop. The pigeon really stands out. His white textures got that blue scheme that the whole rest of the photo has. It's pretty cool. Katz Delicatessen, baby. What it's all about. Look at the line. Look at the line. I love this picture. For one of the few portrait pictures of these two rolls I really like. You got just enough of the corner and all the people in line, the smoke coming out of the building. It's got the same color scheme the rest of the photo has. The shadows are retained decently enough. You can see the scan struggling on the shadow left side of the frame, but I don't care. It makes it look even older, especially with the smoke aspect in there. This photo is sick as fuck. Here's another photo, a little bit tighter, and obviously some of the shadows come in a little bit better. You still got the smoke on the right side of the frame, a different angle of the line, and this one is just, this photo just came out better. The film held up better in this image. I love both of these photos. This is sick too. Another one of the few portrait photos I really like. Here's another one of Katz, a landscape photo with some of the neon lights and the big, famous cat sign in the background. It's a bit of a weird angle. It's a little bit tight, but I still like this. I'm not gonna hate on this too much. The shadows are really really kind of falling apart here, but 30-year-old roll of film. How many times have I said that in this video? Close-up of the sign, waiting in line. I almost cropped out the best sandwich in town. Don't know what I was doing there. Inside, waiting for our food. I tried to get this catering for all occasions sign. It's out of focus. The film fell apart. There's top of someone's head. It's a weird photo. Don't love it. I do like this one. You've got some people in the foreground blurry and a bunch of people in here. You can see how hectic this place is at all times. The LED lights, all the twinkle lights in here are shining really, really cool and adding a unique ambient busyness to... It's really painting what that place is like on the inside. It's busy, it's hectic, and it's cool. It's old school. I love it. I got this photo of all the chefs, people in line. You can see some people on the left side of the frame. The chefs running around. You can see a little bit of motion blur in a couple of them. All the food waiting to come. The tips in their jars. The distant LED lights. This is a cool photo. Even though the film didn't hold up quite as good as it did in some of the other shots on these two rolls, this is a sick ass photo. I bet they'd love to have it. And that is it. The reason why I wanted to do both of these rolls for a one roll series video is because a lot of these pictures just didn't turn out because of how old the film was, but also they were 24 exposures. So basically less than 50 in total, where one regular roll is usually 36 to 38. And a lot of the pictures already were just completely bad. So I figured I'd just take these two rolls since they were identical and put them together and show you guys what we were able to get with. If film is kept properly, even for 30 years, you can get these very cracked painting-esque kind of images like this. Again, a lot of these are really bad, but a lot of these are really fucking cool. I'll shoot on 30-year-old roll of film again. I'll do it again because I think it's neat, especially if it's kept right. If it's kept right. Seriously, everybody, thank you guys for following, liking, subscribing. Send me a postcard. I think that's the next step in this relationship. A Christmas card, drop it on Thanksgiving. Hell, we can pull the wishbone together. Like I said, once we get to 300 subs, we're gonna be doing our first giveaway on the channel. So why don't you just sub away? And if you like things expired film, 16mm Super 8, that's really the big reason to sub. Check out our most popular video when I shot 16mm non-expired film of our trip when we were there in January of 2023. Check that out here. It's our most watched video on the channel. We've gotten a lot of love for it, so check that out. We'd love to do more stuff, more videos like this for sure for you guys in the future. And lastly, I forgot to mention what I shot these photos on. I got so caught up in talking about the 30-year-old roll of 1600 color film that I forgot to mention I shot this on my Nikon F3, my trusty Nikon F3. I had my Nikon F3, my Nikon F4, and my Nikon F5 in New York City. So all of these pictures are going to be shot on one of those three cameras, but we used the F3 because it's lightweight, and I had a couple of different lenses that I wanted for this roll in particular. A couple of different telephotos. I had 135 f2.8 that I really used a lot for some of these tight images, and of course a really solid 35mm f2. Yeah, I love that camera. Nikon F3, man, you can't go wrong. Sorry that it's been a while since I've gotten content out on the channel. I've been a busy boy. Check out our gaming channel here if you guys are interested in watching some of our gaming stuff. My main business page is here, and we'll see you guys next time. We're gonna do some more 16mm shit, Super 8 shit, expired film, non-expired film. Summer stuff's coming up, and our giveaway at 300 subs. We'll see you next time. I'm leaving!